I'm still trying to figure out cancel culture, but we can talk about that too. You said something on the spectrum, love on the spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum.
What is that? That
It's
sounds
on,
wild.
what is
it's
like,
on Netflix. It's awesome.
It's about
And how you think you
it's so Love on the Spectrum is basically about it just go. I think it's like 5, 6, maybe 7, and they go and.
I'm not laughing. Yo, don't.
I ain't gonna slide it in there like that.
Yo, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Yo, please go.
Look out, he covering his face trying not to get canceled right now. Listen, we trying to get canceled.
Bro, I got a career to sustain. Listen, I support everyone, by the way. I'm not.
No, it's the spectrum in autism.
These people, it's not just autism, it's all sorts of disabilities. They suffer from high functioning Asperger's to like not cerebral palsy, but Down syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good show.
But the thing that gets me is if you watch it enough, it almost makes you think like, I've either dated women that are like that, or I would date a woman like that because it's like I don't really see anything wrong with her unless you really look.
Like the one girl, I think her name Danny, the one that
we're probably talking about the same
animation. She does the animation and stuff.
Yeah.
She was like
the Asian one.
When she went on that first date with that dude, I thought it was hilarious because she was like, she really liked him. She thought that they had a lot in common, and she was like, I'm like head over heels right now. I think I love you. And I was like, why don't people feel that way?
See,
Like,
that's the thing about autistic people. This is why they thrive in the world.
Those games.
This is why if you look at the most successful people in the world, they all have Asperger's. I mean, look at Elon Musk.
They're straightforward with what they want.
Yeah, because and it's efficient for productivity. It's efficient because it's like, hey, I want it this way. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I don't want to sound like a psychopath, but this is the way that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like, why can't we just be blunt and be honest with each other and then have I tell you this all the time. If I'm messing up or I'm saying something or doing something wrong, say it to me so that I can be like, oh, I get it. I understand. Now let me make changes. And they can understand that in a sense. And they're not as filtered as most people are. And not only that, with the way they speak to people, like her, for example, she doesn't want to go through the whole like, oh, let's go on a second date and then I'll text you and see if you reply.
Exactly. They don't play those games like we do.
She's just like, I like you. I really like you.
Yeah.
And then the guy was like, hold on, I need a break. He came back and he was like,
he went to go jack off. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He came back. He was like, I really like you too. I think I want to kiss you. And she's like, kiss me then.
Yeah, but it was just like, kiss me. My eyes are closed. And it's like, I was just sitting there like, yeah, all right.
Wait, so would you be able to, if it wasn't called this show, would you be able to tell like? If
that's a good question.
You know
like
that. So this is what I was going to get
some
at.
of them are really bad, and then some of them weren't. But so if I was in school and she was one of my classmates, I'd be like, she's kind of weird, but.
But here's my question though that I was going to ask: how do you know that you're not on the spectrum somewhere?
What is the spectrum, though?
Exactly. And how far does it reach? Because at some point, if it's super really like reachable, that means that almost everybody's on the spectrum.
Every day the line's getting blurred. Like 1 in 4 children, they're born with autism. Most people who are functioning in the world now, they have some sort of autism. So what the spectrum is it's like a list. You can look it up. It's like a list of certain traits that you have, just like with anything. With
I just saw it as a rainbow or something.
No, that's not a spectrum.
That's the other spectrum?
That's the color spectrum.
It is a spectrum, yeah.
But that's the binary, non-binary spectrum, LGBT.
It's the same concept,
That's a different community, right?
No, it's the same concept.
Well, yeah. So
when they say, like if you say, hey, you could have OCD, you go through the list, and because everyone says, oh, well, he's a narcissist, or I have OCD. People just throw that term around. But if, like, you were gay, there's a list, there's a checklist of being gay. You don't just say, oh, yeah, I'm totally gay. You know, it's like, have you ever had sex with another man, though?
Like, what kind of gay are you?
Like there's no such thing.
What kind of gay?
Like, what brand of?
But I think now
right.
But people try to blur the definition so much. It's like now a man can be a woman.
Because like I thought I was Demi at one time.
What's Demi?
What?
Demi Moore?
That's no.
Demi Lovato?
No, Demi is on the love spectrum. It's like
I don't want to get into that.
when you
No, let's get into
when
it.
you feel you have a deep connection with somebody, like you
need a microphone.
You only thrive on. Well, I'm talking to you.
Because it's gonna be dead space and
I don't want her sitting beside me talking that nonsense.
All right, what we said. So you thought you were a demigod, and what happened?
No. Basically, what that means is like how they get sexually or whatever, they gotta have a bond, a deep connection with them.
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah.
That's not abnormal though.
I mean, it's abnormal if that's what you always want. Like you want to have a bond.
That's
like
not abnormal.
I mean, like
exactly.
a super bond, like quick. Like you, like say if you like
a super passionate thing.
Yeah, it's like more of a more overbearing thing. Like
I know what you mean.
In my opinion, that don't make no sense. You're supposed to have that anyway. But
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
but it's like say it's this
Let's
one
get her
thing
your
that
mic.
you thought that nobody else
You can put it back.
liked what you like.
Okay.
Okay, so they take that and blow it, and it's like, you know, we're meant to be together. This is why you like what I like. We're meant to be together, but it's on a different, you know, it's on a.
Yeah.
So I think as far as love, it's called love on a spectrum because everyone on the show is on the spectrum. But as far as a spectrum of love, I think it's whatever you find, you know, to be attractive. Because
We're all attracted to
I
different things.
dated women who their only language was through sex. It's like if you're not having sex with me, then you don't love me. And that used to frustrate me because it's like, well, if you can't share your feelings with me, then you don't love me. But I learned to respect
Isn't that
other
the
people's
love
language
thing?
It's a love language, but really what it is it's a trauma. It's there's a term for it. What's it called?
Trauma bond.
No, but
How you both know that at the same time?
yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely see. That's why I didn't want to. But it's definitely a thing. It's your attachment styles. That's what it is.
Attachment style.
Yeah, your have you guys heard of this?
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah,
attachment
yeah,
style.
yeah.
What are
Like
the different attachment styles?
go ahead, Jimmy. You have to look it up.
Why Jimmy?
You ever watched Joe Rogan?
It's not Jimmy.
It is.
No, it's not.
What's his name?
Jimmy.
It's Jamie.
Jamie.
It's Jamie. The different attachment styles. And this is like psychology. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, it's like, yeah.
It's so weird because there's so many different. One, you have like we talk about the love spectrum, what you're attracted to and what you want from someone. Then you have like the love languages, and then you have now the attachment style. It's like
It's too much.
it's so many different things where it's hard to. I think it feels like everyone's trying to put people in some kind of category, but there's so many different kinds of categories. So like you're in this category, and then this one, and then this one, and that one, and that one, and that one. It's like
humans were made to do that. We're made to categorize people.
but can't you just be who you are?
Well, that's where the world's moving to. It's just like just be free, just be non-binary.
No, but
Well, I would say
everyone
be
wants
free. I'm just saying, like-
wants a damn label. It's like just be who you. Why you so you most people are more worried about titles and labels than they are just living.
That's true.
You know,
but
it's
we're
like
built that way.
this shit shouldn't matter. This type of shit should not matter.
But it does
what
because
I'm-
we want to label people or we want people to label us.
No, what I'm saying is
I don't want people to label me shit.
It's understanding.
But
You're black.
do you
Smith
not
Sunday,
know
right?
even
I have a name.
subconsciously?
That's not a title. That's my name.
I'm talking about subconsciously. I mean the way you dress, the
No.
music you listen to. You don't think
I
that
don't
people
have
are
a.
gonna,
I don't have a title for this.
But do you think that people? But you know that people are gonna put you into a certain
Yeah,
category.
but the difference
As
is
soon as
I
you
don't-
walked in, we looked at your clothes. We was like, oh yeah, okay, we get it, like the neocentric sort of.
I mean,
Andre.
yeah, that's fine, but the difference is I don't give a shit. Like you can. I'm one of these people. You could talk shit about me all you want, as long as you ain't talking about people I love, my family, and whatnot. That's fine. I don't give a shit what people categorize me as. You can call me asshole. You can call me the greatest person on earth.
But what if it's a good? Okay.
It's like my thing is, yeah, call me an asshole. Call me the greatest person on earth. Call me your boo. Call me your hater. I know who I am. End of the day, it's like how you view me isn't my problem.
But don't you? But so you telling me you have no? You don't want people to categorize you or to label you?
No,
as
I'm not
anything
saying I don't
particular?
want them to. I said I don't care if they do.
But do you want them to?
Whether or not I do or don't, it doesn't matter. They're going to if they want to. That's not whether I want them to categorize me or not. Isn't my choice.
Are there
Anyway.
any categories that you want to be placed in?
No, I don't care. I really don't. Like my thing is,
So if you make an album, you're a producer. You make an album, and they give you the award for the greatest rock album. You'd be okay with that?
that'd be funny. But I mean, I've always wanted to make a rock album. But
Well,
I mean,
if you're going
go
to,
into it,
if
it's like, this
I
is gonna
have
be
a
a hip-hop
particular
album.
sound, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily accept it, but if that's what they're gonna do, I can't change that.
You can.
How can I change it? How can I change them choosing to do what they do when I obviously didn't do that? And like, you hear my music, it's obviously not rock, or give me a rock award. That makes you look stupid. That don't make me look stupid. That you giving me that.
Well, it creates the image that you're a rock star. Like, look at Lil Nas X.
But as far as whose perception? Because my thing is, the person who's giving me that award is going to see me that, but Mystery probably not going to see me as that.
No, but a lot of your fans may say, "Oh, well, he's switched genres on."
Then that's on them, because I obviously didn't. So sound wise, I didn't. But if you want to say, if I make hip hop and you want to call me rock, okay.
I think what he's getting at here is that, like, I am what I am, and no matter what category you try to put me in, I'm still gonna be what I am. So if you say I am X, Y, B, and then everyone else outside is like, oh, I don't like him because he's X, Y, B, but then they come and listen to what you have playing, they're like, oh, this is not X, Y, B, what I'm used to. This is something different, and he is his own person. Whether it's inside this category that this box they try to put him in.
Like,
I'll
give y'all a better example. I have an album out, an instrumental album called Waves in the Sun. The reason
is it
why
a rock album?
No, it's not. The reason I made that album was actually made because for two reasons. One, I always wanted to make a jazz sounding album, and two, after I put out my first album, people were like, "Oh, he's lo-fi." I don't necessarily like being called lo-fi, but there's a reason why people do it. They just don't want to say beat culture, so they call it lo-fi when people don't even know what lo-fi means half the time. So I made that album just to say, okay, this is like my lo-fi album, so people could say, oh, he is lo-fi.
Okay, so people say that was a lo-fi album, right?
But my first one, they said my first one was lo-fi.
What do you say it is?
I said it's just instrumental music, just beats. Like, but again, people don't want to say beat culture. They just want to say, if it's just instrumental, they'll just call it lo-fi by default because it's just instrumental.
What's beat culture?
Pretty much a culture of beat makers and producers who just like making and listening to instrumentals.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say, I wonder, like, if there's a thing where you're like, because I'm kind of like this too, where you understand that there are categories out there, and in some way, in some form, you have to sort of fit in. Like, for example, this podcast, we talk about music, we talk about movies, we talk about all kinds of different things, but we have to be categorized as a comedy podcast. But we know that we transcend comedy sometimes. We had an episode where we sat here and just talked about mental health the entire time. That's outside of comedy. It transcends that. And so I understand. I'm wondering, like, if for you, are you kind of like that, where you like, I know that I'm like an oblong, right? I don't fit in a box. I can come here a little bit and in there a little bit and in here a little bit. But people will only see me as that, only as that. And it's fine, but they also have to understand that if I move here a little bit, they have to understand that I'm going to be that. And I am this. No matter if you make the diagram like this, I might be in there somewhere.
My thing is, I don't want to have to scream it from the mountaintops like everyone else. I'll just show you. I'll just do it.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you have to. It sucks when someone say, "Oh, you only like blah." I was like, "No, I love this, but I also like that."
Like,
or you wear an unk all the time, and they think
like
that you're just a Badu follower.
People want to.
You are Erykah Badu follower.
I'm just saying, I'm more than that.
People always want to just they want to vocalize who they are instead of showing it. Like, they're so quick and eager to say what they are, and instead of just
easy
proving
to do
it.
that. It's like microwaving food.
It's easy to group and associate all the time.
You know why? Because of social media.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to tell a lie.
It's so easy for you to. It's easier to try to get the perception changed about you because you say something instead of actually just being who you are. Like, for me, like, I like a lot of different things. I do a lot of different things. You and Ri'Yadh even say I'm weird for certain things. I don't really care, but that's just the way that I live my life.
And that's how we categorize you.
And so people will try to categorize me and be like, he's this, he's that, he's that. And I'm like, well, you can say that if you want to, but I'm still going to live my life in the way that I do. And I don't have to go out and say, I'm this, I'm that, or I'm this and I'm that. I don't have to do that because you see that, because you see the way that I live.
Yeah. I mean, society pushed that on us. I mean, we're in the midst of Pride Month, and it's like,
have you heard of the term?
It's Cairo from the Storytellers Podcast. If you like watching our video, you can see more on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to support the channel outside of YouTube, you can always use Patreon. Remember, like, share, subscribe. And if you feel like listening to us at work or in the car, remember, you can always use Spotify or Apple Podcasts.